Fáilte Rover Ashkelair, you're very welcome back. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the fruit. Very healthy, and delighted to see the old croissants made an appearance as well for those of us less inclined to be healthy. The good news is that out of the 41 ghosts, 2 of them have applied for jobs in Dublin City Council, so that's a good sign. That means they're paying attention. We're going to move on to the digital transformation. One of the things that is overlooked is how good the public service is at digital transformation and how you're actually the leaders in this space. I foolishly stood up at a conference in Croke Park about 2 years ago and made a joke about slow levels of digital transformation, and Jesus, I nearly didn't get out of the room alive. And since then, I've learned a lot about how things have really moved on and how digital is making the lives of both the users, i.e. the public, and indeed the people who are supporting them through local authorities an awful lot better. And this has been extended out in Longford in particular, because they're talking about computer science in every secondary school in Longford, creating the demand and shaping our county's future. So to talk us through this particular project from Longford County Council, will you please welcome their Head of IT, Mr. Danny Lynch. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Jonathan, and thanks very much to NOAC and the CCMA and the LGMA for having us here today to talk to you about our project. I think slides are going to pop up there now. Yep, computer science in every secondary school in our county. That's what we're going to talk to you about. To help you understand that, I actually need to bring you to Longford first to understand a little bit about where we are and where we're going to. So, it should click on for me here. Sorry, no. Green button, yeah.
Green button. Big green button.
Big green button, yeah. Ah, yeah, here we are. Okay, sorry now. To start off, I think, you know, when you talk to people now and I tell people I'm from Longford, the first thing they say to you, oh, we went there on our holidays. So everyone knows Longford now is a holiday destination, and Central Parks and Ballymahon is one of the places everyone goes to. I've picked a few things there that people know about Longford. Glennon Brothers, timber company, and anyone who follows GAA, very distinctive logo, they'd see it on the front of the jerseys. And Abbott's, as you're driving out to town there, on the bypass on the left-hand side, you can't miss Abbott's. So we've loads. I only just picked those because there are a couple of well-known. We've loads of really, really good, fantastic companies. But our background, I suppose, Longford, as everyone will know, we're a rural county, very, very rural county. And there, to my right over there, we have the old peat-fired power station that closed in December 2020. If you look at it there, I went out and took that photo the other day. It was the 3rd largest peat power station in the country. It's closed now. It's a massive structure, and I think the structure signifies the massive input that would have had in our local economy. But that's closed now, and that's just the way it is. So looking now to the future, in 2019, the Department of Rural and Community Development directed all local authorities to develop a digital strategy. And the reason that was that communities would maximise the benefits and the opportunities that would come with the National Broadband Plan. In Longford, that was something that was very important to us, our elected members and our Chief Executive, Paddy Mahon, and our Director of Finance, John McKeown. We're a rural county. We're about to have fibre rolled down through every townland in the county. So that presents a massive opportunity for us. And our Chief Exec was very keen that we would take every advantage of that going. So we created our digital strategy. It was handed to myself as Head of IT. The Broadband Officer, Christine Collins, was appointed into IT, and it was handed to us to lead the strategy. So we did. The strategy started off in 2019. It was very, very focused around getting our BCPs, our broadband connection points up and running, helping with our hubs, getting all that up and running, helping our communities. And we did that, and it worked out very well. As we came out the other side of COVID, we decided, you know, we're just going to have a look at what we're doing. We know we want that objective all the time, ensure that the economic and social opportunities afforded by the rollout of high-speed broadband was fully maximised. We wanted to be sure. I remember talking to our Head of Finance, John McKeown, and saying, like, it's a small team. Obviously, I'm the Head of IT. I have other duties. We have our Broadband Officer working full-time. We need to be sure that we're doing the right things. We only have so much time. It's a small county, small team. We need to get, I think Shane said it earlier, we need to get the maximum bang for our buck. For our time we put in, we need to be sure we're getting the best value possible. So we did a small review. This is after COVID. I have a couple of pictures there. we had a look at what other local authorities were doing, and you can see there, there's a picture from O'Connor Park in Tullamore. Ray Bell, brilliant guy there in Offaly, he was doing a lot of work with Vex Robotics in the schools. So we had a look at what they were doing. Up there, that's Ericsson's in Athlone. Most people know Ericsson's in Athlone. The interesting thing about that picture is everyone in it is from Longford. Had an interesting conversation with this man here. He's a senior manager, Paul Horrick in Ericsson, and he was telling me a story that Ericsson in Athlone, which is only a stone's throw from Longford town or any part of Longford, they had recruited 150 graduates, and they had one applicant from Longford. So that stuck in our minds. That was something, you know, what's happening. So we talked to the schools. I'm going to come back to this photo here with the guys from Microsoft. We talked to our schools, and we'd see what was happening within the schools. And we didn't change our strategy massively, but we did add one objective to it, and that was to have computer science in every secondary school in the county. And you might ask, why would we do that? Well, there are so many different reasons. To bring it down to probably the main few is that, you know, look at where we are, look at the county, we're in the Midlands, you can be anywhere within an hour and a half. And we're about, you know, you'd be in Dublin an hour and a half, you could be up in Belfast in the same time. We're about to roll out high-speed broadband over every townland that we have. If we want our communities to get maximum value out of that, well, sure, why not start at the start and start with the kids in the schools? The other side of it is think of yourselves, think of your own kids. Think of what they're doing today, think of the jobs that they're going to be doing in the future. It's inevitable, no more than ourselves, technology is going to play a bigger role in what they're doing, whether they be doctors, counsellors, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers. Technology is going to play a role in what they're doing. And if they have that foundation understanding of computer science, isn't it going to give them a massive advantage? And obviously, I'm a computer scientist myself. I'd love to think that in years to come, Longford will become a hub for technology. That could happen too, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever our kids do, if they have this understanding of technology, it'll give them a massive advantage. So to do that, to take that on, we met with the schools. We got fantastic support from the schools. There's one thing that I would notice when I mentioned that thing about Ericsson, that everyone was from Longford in the photo. The schools, we found the same thing. That sense of place, when you come up with a good idea and people come on side, you can do fantastic things. And we got fantastic support from the schools. That picture there, we've all the secondary schools in, we've the PTST, we've the Department of Education there, fantastic support, everyone working together on it. Now, I'm just going to move on. One secondary school, one of the smaller secondary schools in Granard said, the vice principal said something very interesting to me. And we were talking about the objective we had set. And she said to me, you know, Danny, it's great what you're doing and the idea is great and we're all behind it. She said, we can take the time, we can find a teacher to teach computer science, we can set up the room, we can get the equipment, we can do all that, but are the students going to come looking for the subject? We can't just take it, we can't, like a field of dreams, build it and know they will come. We need to know they're going to come, to put the time into it, to put the resources into it, we need to know they're going to come. And it was a really interesting point. And it was at that point we realised we need to go to the primary schools. We had about 40 primary schools in the county. That picture from Microsoft, I said I was going to come back to it. It's really important. Microsoft came on board with us as well. And what we did over a series of 10 weeks, Microsoft, Michael Barrett, Niamh Hyland, Amanda Joliffe, fantastic people in Microsoft, they would send an email out to the schools. We put it out to the schools. We got 12 schools signed up, 11 schools followed it through, primary schools. Every week, Michael would send out, there's the email, and he'd have a little link to a YouTube video. The teachers would watch the YouTube video, it was only about 30 minutes long. Then they'd watch it with the kids. Microsoft gave us some microbits. Microbits are, you'll see them now in a minute, another wee video. They're tiny little computers, only about €15. Very cheap, but they're brilliant at teaching the kids an introduction into coding and thinking, computational thinking and working together. Microsoft put another thing with it. They linked it to the global goals. So they got the kids to take the microbit and come up with something that had helped with some of the global goals. So something that's good for the environment, loads of different things. It was fantastic. So along with that, that ran over 10 weeks. Microsoft said that they would bring some of the kids up to their offices in Dublin, but that they couldn't bring them all. We had 11, we had 12 schools, we had over 300 kids involved. So we needed to come up with an idea to champion it, because they were doing this in class. We come up with the idea we'd have a kind of a BT Young Scientist in Longford. So our library got involved, our fantastic county librarian Martina Needham got involved, and with that, Creative Ireland, another fantastic group of people, they got involved, and we ran the Longford Dream Space Showcase. What we did was we went to Edgertown Community Centre. It's the biggest community centre we have in the county. At the end of May, we brought in all the schools. The kids worked in project groups of 3 or 4. They set up. It was like, I was trying to explain it to someone at the start. I said, it's going to be a bit like the ploughing championships. There's going to be ploughing competition going on, but there's going to be loads of other things happening around it. And that's what it was like. There was a technology competition going on. We brought in the secondary school teachers to come in and adjudicate. So they went around and met all the kids and all the projects they had done, which created a lovely flow. You had the secondary school teachers seeing what was happening in the primary schools. You had the primary school kids meeting the secondary school teachers and knowing that when they go to secondary school, they're going to meet these guys again. We brought in our technology partners, Ericsson, brilliant people in Athlone. They set up the stall, they met the kids, and we had HP, we had Microsoft, Martina, our county librarian, and Christine, our broadband officer, thought about bringing in all the council services, so they got an introduction. We had the fire service. We had over 50 different people there involved. So I'm getting told to move on. So I'm going to show you a very quick video now. We broke it out, everyone got an award. I'm going to show you a very quick video of what happened on the day. Midlands Ireland helped with this video. It flashes forward and back from what was happening on the day and some of the kids that were there. So I think you'll enjoy it.
It's about technology, it's about Longford, it's about Longford primary schools, it's about Longford kids, and it's about the future. We're hoping is that all these kids, there's 11 primary schools in there, that they'll go off into secondary schools and they'll look to study computer science. We've 9 secondary schools in the county, 2 of them already, and we've the teachers, our judges in there are teachers from the secondary school, computer science teachers from the secondary schools. They're going around meeting the kids, talking to the kids about their projects. The kids are they're in 6th class, most of them are 6th class. They're going to head off into secondary school now in September, and they'll be working their way up. So it's brilliant. When you start seeing things come together, it really does give the kids from Longford an advantage. It really, really does. And it's thanks to the teachers, thanks to Microsoft, thanks to Ericsson's. The best way to predict your future is to create it now. And that's really what we're doing here, it really is.
It really helped me explore what I wanted to do.
What was that?
I wanted to create something. Maybe make an invention that helps the world, you know? Maybe with the environment.
What do you think when you think about the environment?
World, climate action. I wanted to make something that would help people realize if they're wasting too much energy.
I thought of the idea about doing the noise pollution, and she thought about the idea of the light, the energy. When you turn off your lights and stuff, when it's on for too long.
I created a toothbrush timer for personal hygiene, since people don't take enough time to properly keep hygiene to make themselves clean.
Or were the teachers always helping you?
Maybe
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both, yeah.
Because sometimes the teacher told us how to do that stuff, and she asked us to help others to do something else because she also didn't really know. No offense. No offense.
I think it would be nice to get a computer science as a subject in secondary school just to improve our skills.
Because if we did computer science in secondary schools, it could really benefit us in the future, as technology is getting more used every single day, and it's basically in most jobs. So if we learned it in secondary school, it could really benefit us. So we would have more knowledge about it and maybe help coworkers.
Yeah.
So you want to be a software engineer. Where did it happen? Tell me about it.
So my brother's a software engineer, so that's where I think most of it comes from, because he always shows me other stuff. But also I think it'd be really fun to just do, because there's so much teamwork involved with it that you can learn from other people as well. So you don't have to learn everything. You can just always ask someone else for help.
The memory when we in like Edgerstown when the results were doing and how we were holding hands. This is a memory that I won't forget ever. So exciting and stressful, everything. I just loved that moment. I wish we can re-experience that.
Maybe we will.
Yeah, maybe.
I think for me, when you realise that you're nearly obsolete in the classroom, that they've taken complete ownership of the project, that's when you know that true learning is taking place, and it was fantastic to see. And I think some of the children definitely surpassed my own knowledge. I remember one particular child last year was working on a code on overfishing, and she was trying to program the microbit to acknowledge when, well, they were using model fish that made, when they acknowledged when more fish had been added to the net. And I remember asking her, how are you going to do that? How is the micro going to know when more fish has been added to your fishing net? And she goes, teacher, I'm going to use gravitational force. And I was like, I don't think the microbit can do that. And she goes, it can, teacher, I'll show you.
It'll start saying that the max is reached.
So what's that saying? It's saying there, is it?
Yes.
Okay. And that sends a signal back to wherever.
And if the fishermen, just in case, if they miss the alarm, whatever reaches 12, so that's 10, 11, it makes a bigger alarm.
And I think that's the moment when you realise that these children, they have these skills, and give them the knowledge, give them the language, give them the support, and they're going to surpass any expectations we had of them, and they're going to be teaching us.
Really, from an Ericsson perspective, we are so invested in this programme because we believe like that room inside there is a room full of talent, a room full of possibilities and potential. And as a company, Ericsson feel almost an obligation to nurture that. A lot of them, maybe without the likes of programs like DreamSpace, might never consider a career or an education in computer science or software engineering. And that's the mindset that we're trying to change. So we're trying to introduce STEM subjects to kids from as young as 8, and once they get introduced to it, if they have like a niche or a talent for it, then we can nurture that. We work with the teachers in both national school and secondary school to give them the tools that they need to really support the kids going forward. I mean, like on a personal level, the day my son came in, like he's in 6th class now, the day him and his class came in, like to see it firsthand, just the joy, like, and he came home that evening and said it was the best day ever. So like that, like it's, you can't but be proud of something like that. And that's really what it's all about for us, is growing talent locally, with a view to them coming to work for Ericsson or companies similar to Ericsson, and actually staying in the Midlands and in the region.
The main idea of DreamSpace was to help the environment, think up of an idea to help the environment. And our idea kind of came in about reducing electricity in kind of the home or in school or anywhere you want, really.
I think it was amazing, it was spectacular the way that you got to see different people's projects and got to meet people from different schools that you wouldn't really meet usually.
And when you went and told your families, when you went home, did they understand what you were talking about?
Not until I explained it to them for the 5th time.
Did they still get it?
I don't think so.
How about you?
Well, it took me a long time to explain it to my parents. I think DreamSpace has definitely inspired me to go into secondary school and possibly do computer science. And I think it will really help me in the future if I do.
This one was a really, really enjoyable project, and it was truly a STEAM project because it hit so many areas of the curriculum. It had the science, the technology, the English, the art, the maths, and you were hitting all of those. You were getting all of those done within this lesson. And I loved that, because I love when it's kind of cross-curricular and it's linked in, because it's, in the end, there's less planning in it. The children are learning so much and they're initiating a lot of the work themselves. I suppose maybe possibly there was 2 key moments that I really felt, I just love this. I have a particular child in my class who's very quiet, who wouldn't be sporty at all, and he doesn't really, get involved in projects in the class, but this was right up his alley. He absolutely loved the coding and he took off with it. And the other children were looking to him for inspiration and looking and asking him, how do I do this? I don't know what to do. And he was leading. This would be the first time for him that he was actually leading a project. So that was really, I was delighted for him. I really was. His confidence grew through the whole project. And I think the other children, their opinion of him changed during the project. And I just loved that happened for him, and it was lovely to see it. And the other thing, I suppose, with the showcase day in Edgeworthstown was really, really special, because we've been working so hard in school, and coming near the end, like, I won't lie, there was, you know, quite a bit of work. We had 5 projects, trying to get them all together and up to a certain standard. It was, I was nervous going to it to see what would the other schools have and what would they make of us, but I needn't have been. It was just so inspiring to see our children from our school there as good as every other school in the county, and so confident in their projects, and talking knowledgeably about what they had learned. That was really special, I have to say. Whether we won anything or not, I felt that day looking at them that was a real achievement for them. So yes, I think it's important that we give the children these skills in technology, even though we may be fearful of them ourselves. They need to have these skills going forward. This is the future. There's jobs in this area in the future. Yeah, so DreamSpace, long may it continue.
It's building up momentum, but we want to just add to that momentum. And what I personally really want to add to is that momentum isn't just being built in urban areas, that it's also being built in rural areas. So that students at a young age are experiencing it, and they're saying, I want to do computer science in my local school, here in Longford or in Tipperary, or the future counties that we're hoping to roll out in over the next academic year as well.
Just we're all working together. You know, it's early pathways to education. That's the working group. We are on skills and talent in the Midlands region, and you know, collectively we can make so much a difference. Look at the difference we're making to these kids. STEM education isn't coming in 2026. These kids are ahead, and we're just absolutely so delighted.
Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think there's a couple of things that this project, there isn't, you look at it and you say there's so much happening there. There actually isn't a massive amount of work to it. The biggest bit of work is bringing all the partners together. Not just, there's our industry partners, and I want to put their names up because they're brilliant people and they help us massively in Longford. But even within the local authority, we had over 50 staff out there that day. Our Director of Innovation, Samantha Healy, is involved with us as well. It involves the entire council. Everyone is involved. We're reaching out to schools. It's a massive, it's really not that much work on it. It's just bringing everyone together to work together, and I suppose the unique thing that we do in local authorities. One last slide that I'm going to finish up with, and then I'm going to go because I know my time is up. This slide brings us back to the slide I had at the start. I showed the old peat-fired power station there in Ballymahan. Or in Lanesborough. This is Ballymahan Secondary School. We have 3 schools that have kicked off with computer science. Anyone that knows Longford, Ballymahan Vocational School, they've kicked off with computer science 5th years this year. They're only a stone's throw over from the old peat power station. And I had a picture of rural communities. That's Fikra there. He's from Mullinachta. Mullinachta is a well-known rural community in Longford for a couple of reasons. Gaelic football was invented there. It's a well-known area nationally because it's it's very, very small rural community. The GAA club would have won the Leinster Senior Club Championship, but Mullinachta was one of the first schools to sign up to the DreamSpace Showcase. So look, the future's bright in Longford. We're going in the right places. Keep an eye on us. Thanks very much.
Danny, thank you very much. Danny Lynch, ladies and gentlemen. The more astute of you in the room will have noticed that Danny moved out of the way of the hot oil when the video started playing, so that it had run out by the time we got to the end of it. I was laughing because I was sitting there going, Longford, have I ever been on holidays in Longford? And I realised, yes, I have, many times. I've been to Centre Parks many, many times. And that's just before we move on to our next presentation. That's a classic idea of, you know, you stay in your lane. You don't need to bother yourselves with that. That's other people's problems. But you identified the problem. You identified how you could impact it. You identified how you could bring in your colleagues in local authorities through libraries and through broadband and everything like that. And you actioned a plan that's going to benefit young people who may very well have more transferable skills now when it comes to looking for employment in the future. So it's a really good idea in that context.